we're going to start sitting with a block between your feet. Now, if you don't have a block, you can place a cushion or a couple of cushions, just depending on the flexibility. And just make sure that your heels are close to your hips. You don't want your feet out like this. Otherwise, that can put a lot of pressure on the knees. So bring the feet nice and close in to the side of the hips or the block. And this is going to stretch the quadricep muscles. You want your knees together and then find the natural lumbar curve. So slightly tilt the pelvis forward. From there, we're going to stretch the shoulder. So I want you to reach your right arm up to the sky, reach up as high as you can, and then bend the elbow behind the back of the head. And if you hold on to the elbow with your left hand, you can kind of draw that elbow a little bit closer towards the head or even behind the head. Now take the left hand out to the left, the thumb turns down, and bring the back of the hand up the spine. Now, if your hands can touch, grab your fingers. If not, just hold onto your shirt. You could also use a strap between your hands. And you should feel a stretch in the front of the left shoulder and in the tricep of that right arm and underneath the armpit, maybe into the latissimus dorsi muscles. I'm going to keep pressing your head into the arm. Don't let the head be pushed forward by the arm, so you're in an upright position. And just breathe there. We're stretching the pectoral muscles of the left shoulder. The external rotators of the left shoulder and the internal rotators of the right shoulder. And gently release your arms. Give the shoulders a little wiggle. Then we're going to take a twist. So take your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Make sure both sides of the spine is long. Reach up for the top of your head. And then you're just going to reach your right arm back and press your left hand into the knee to help revolve your chest a little bit more. One more breath. And then come back to the front. Let's do that on the other side. So your left arm reaches up alongside your ear. Bend the elbow behind the back of the head and then use your right hand to draw the elbow a little bit further behind the head or as close to the head as you can get it. Now keep it there. Take your right arm out to the right. The thumb turns down so that when the hand comes behind the back of the hand is touching the spine. Grab your fingers, or again, you can grab a belt if you have a belt, a regular belt, or you can just grab your shirt. Press the head back into the arm to keep that shoulder back. Now shorten a little bit the left side of the armpit towards the left hip. So you're lengthening the right side of the body and shortening the left side of the body. Like you're trying to move your left shoulder down towards your left hip just a tiny bit. Keep pressing the head back into the arm. Breathing in and out through the nose, couple more breaths. And gently release your arms, give your shoulders a little wiggle. And let's take the twist. So your right hand comes to the outside of your left knee. You can push the back of the hand into the knee to help increase the rotation through the spine there. And the left arm just reaches back. Turn, turn, turn a little bit more. And then release, come to the front. Move your pillow or your blocks out of the way there. Have your hands underneath the shoulders and have the index fingers parallel to one another. Spread the fingers wide and try to move the weight to the front of the hands. And then you're going to back bend, look up to the ceiling, extending through the spine, moving the shoulders away from your ears. And then exhale round the spine, look towards your navel, flexing the spine. Do that a few times. So through extension, inhale, sit bones lift up and apart, belly draws in though, and then exhale round the spine. Keep going. Inhale, moving with breath. Shoulders away from your ears. Try not to sink into the shoulders. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, back bending. Exhale, rounding. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Now keep the shoulder blades separating. Look forward and try to move the weight to the front of the hands. Imagine that you could slide a piece of paper underneath the back of the palm. From your shoulders, without moving your hands, turn your biceps forward. That will create something called external rotation of the shoulders. And then step back to the top of a push-up. Squeeze your hands towards each other. And squeeze your hands back towards your feet without lifting your hips. So you should have a line from the head down to the hips, down to the heels. Draw your belly in so you engage in the transverse abdominal muscles. And keep trying to claw the floor with your fingers. Hold there for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Keep spinning your biceps forward from your shoulders. And then if your hamstrings are tight, just bend the knees slightly so you can find your natural lumbar curve. Keep grounding down through your inner palms. And even if the knees are bent, push the heels back and down. Try to move the weight back more in towards your feet rather than your hands now. So really push so the vertebrae separate. Okay, come back to plank pose. So your shoulders are over your wrist. Look forward. And then you lower your knees down. Bend the elbows straight back so the elbows are close to the body. They're hugging in as you come all the way onto your belly. You're going to take your elbows underneath your shoulders into Sphinx position. So you're in a back bend here. Now, if this is too much, then just release the head down and press back to child's pose. But if you're okay here, keep pressing your elbows down, moving your shoulders away from your ears, and reach your heart forward. Pull the belly in nice and tightly. So this might aggravate the nerve, so only do it for as long as you can before that happens. And then lower down and just press back to child's pose. So your bottom comes to your heels, separate your knees and then rest your forehead on top of your hands. Just stretching through your lower back there. Try to ground your bum towards your heels. So if your bum is lifted, press back a little bit more if you can. And your spine will be flexed. You'll be in a rounded kind of spine there. Now if you've got a blanket or a cushion, place that under the left knee and you're going to step your right foot forward. You can climb up onto your front leg. Square your hip points forward so you're not opening the hips to the left and press the hips forward. You start to feel a stretch in this left hip flexor. Engage the left side of your glute. And if you push this right elbow down or your right hand down into your front leg, you'll be able to lift your pubis up like you're trying to take out a back bend from your lower back. So it's like you're trying to curl your tail between your legs, and that will stretch the hip flexor a little bit more. Three more breaths here. Now, if you don't have blocks, you can have your hands on a couple of chairs next to you. Bring your hips over your left knee So that left thigh bone is vertical to the floor, and straighten your right leg all the way. Try to find your natural lumbar curve. Don't let your lower back round and flex like this. You want to lift the sit bones up and apart. And just try and straighten your front leg as best you can. Pull the toes back towards your nose, and that will also stretch the calf muscles that lead into the hamstrings. Because if you've got more flexibility, you can start to kind of tilt your pelvis forward a little bit more. And tighten the side of this left hip. Try not to sink and let the kind of hip jut out to the left. Keep it hugging into the midline. A few more breaths there. As the body opens, you can go a tiny little bit deeper. Keep the lowest part of your belly pulling it in, engaging your transverse abdominal muscles. Take about 3 more breaths. You don't have to lower your elbows down like this. If you're tight, I'm just doing that because I've got a bit more space. Your main aim is to keep your natural lumbar curve. So you're stretching your hamstrings, not your lower back. Okay, bend the front knee. And then take your left hand to the floor. You're going to lift your back knee up. Try to be on your fingertips so you're using your leg strength rather than leaning into your hands. So fingertips to the floor. Your front knee is over the ankle. Now imagine you've got a block between your legs. Squeeze that imaginary block so your legs squeeze into the midline. And then lift your right arm up. Move your hips a little bit to the left. Have the hand in a diagonal to the right. So you don't want it behind your shoulder. You want it kind of in front of your chest. And then the arm goes up because your body and your torso is turning to face up to the ceiling. Move the sides of the head back so the chest is open. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1. 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Last 1. And exhale. 3. Take your hands down to the floor. You're going to step back to the top of a push-up, plank pose, index fingers parallel. Look forward, bend the elbows halfway towards the floor. So it's like your biceps are parallel to the floor there. And then you're going to bring your knees down, pull your belly in into upward facing dog. Engage the glutes, engage your belly, shoulders over your wrist. And then press back to downward facing dog to do that all on the other side. So again, bend your knees if your hamstrings are tight so that you can find the natural lumbar curve. Your lower back isn't fighting with your hamstrings. Round your inner palms and press your heels back and down even with the knees bent. Lower the right knee down and step your left foot now between your hands to do that on the other side. Allow your hips to press forward evenly. So your hip points are parallel to the front edge of your mat. You want your front knee over the ankle. Feel like you're compacting the side of the hips in. So there's a little bit of a hugging into the midline there from side to side. Lift the front of your pubis up to lengthen the tail down like you're trying to curl your tail between your legs. And then we get more into that stretch of the iliopsoas muscle. Breathing in and out through the nose. Two more breaths. Try to lunge forward a little bit deeper. Constantly, once the body opens, trying to go deeper into the poses. Okay, now you're going to pull your hips back. If you've got chairs, place your hands on 2 chairs there next to the side of your hips. Right hip should be over the plumb line of your right knee. And then flex that front foot so you not only stretch the hamstring but all the way down into the calf. Lift the sit bones up and apart. Draw the lowest part of your belly in to protect your back. And just breathe there into the hamstrings. If you do have more space, you just keep tilting the pelvis forward a little bit more. So it's not about flexing around in the spine, trying to get your head to your knee. It's about lifting the sit bones up and trying to tilt your pelvis forward. I'm going to lower down onto my blocks here just because I've got a bit more space in my hamstrings. But again, it's the position of the spine that's the most important, and that you're feeling a stretch in the back of that left leg. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Keep the energy through the left leg. Two more. Okay, lift yourself up. Bend through that front knee. Move your chairs out of the way, your blocks out of the way. Your front knee is over the ankle. Pop yourself up onto your fingertips so your legs are forced to work here, and lift your back knee up. So your back leg is as straight as you can get it. So lift the top of that thigh bone up. And your hip points are parallel to the floor. Now staying on your 8 fingertips, drive your left heel down, pull your belly in, and then lift your left arm up. So you're twisting towards the left. Keep tracking the front knee over your little toe, and the weight should be into that left heel. The left arm is in the kind of the front plane in front of your chest, not behind your shoulder. The arm is going to turn up just because you're spinning and trying to create more rotation through the spine. Open the chest, try not to curl your chin in. So you should be looking kind of to the front corner of the room, not to the back of the room. One more breath. And then take your left hand down to the floor. You're going to step your back foot forward. Have about 20 centimeters between your feet. Thumbs on the floor, drop your head. Weight is even over the arches of the feet, outer heels pushing down. Keeping the inner arches lifted, push your big toe mounds down. And if you feel okay here, maybe you can interlace your fingers above your back. Have your palms together. You might not be able to move your hands as far over your head as I can here, because men tend to have tight pectoral muscles more than women. But keep trying to move your hands over your head with your palms together. Lift your shoulders away from your ears so the neck is long and there's no wrinkles in the neck. And reach the hands a little bit further forward. Belly draws in. And then release your hands to your bum. Drop your hands back to the floor. You're going to step back to that plank position, the top of the push-up. So walk your feet back. Index fingers parallel, fingers spreading. Okay, lower your right knee down to the floor so it's under your hip. Your right hand under your right shoulder. Round down your left heel and lift your left arm to the sky. Move the right shoulder back. Now pull your belly in nice and strongly. Maybe you can extend your right leg. So you come into this kind of side plank position. Try not to stick your butt back. So your head shouldn't be going forward and your butt back. Move your sacrum bone forward and your head back, drawing the belly in. And then push the floor away like you're trying to move the shoulder blade off your back there. Shoulder away from your ear. Stay there for the count of 5, for 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to plank pose. Bend the elbows straight back, lower to your belly. Engage your belly, engage your glutes. Lift your heart up using your back muscles. And then press back to all fours. Do that on the other side. Hands under your shoulders. Fingers pointing forward. Then extend your right leg back. Ground down the right heel so the whole of that, the 4 corners of that right foot is on the floor. And lift the right arm to the sky. Make sure the left shoulder is under the plumb line of your shoulder there. The left hand is under the left shoulder. Claw the floor with your fingers. Push the floor away. Stay here or take it into that full side plank. Bring your left foot behind your right foot. Try to not touch the ankle bones on the floor. So you lifted the ankle bones up. So it's just the side of the feet are on the floor. And stay there for the count of 5. Head moves back, sacrum bone forward. 4, 3, claw the floor, 2, and 1. Come back to plank pose. Take a breath in. Bend the elbows halfway this time. Lower your knees to the floor, pull your belly in. Shoulders over your wrists, look up. And then exhale. Move your bum back. And you're going to bring your legs forward. So make sure that you can have your pelvis upright so you're not rounding back. Bring your right foot to your left inner thigh. Have your hip points parallel to forward. Now, if you find that you're kind of rounding back like this, just bend this left knee a little bit and then reach for your left foot. Eventually, holding onto the foot, maybe you can slide the heel forward, but keeping that distance of the top of the pelvis towards the top of the thigh. So again, you're not here. It's a little bit of a rotation, so turn towards the left, flex the left foot. Breathe deeply through the nose. Open up the back of your left leg. And lift up. You're going to cross now this right knee over your left knee. So the top of the foot is on the floor. Now take your left hand to the outside of your right knee, your right hand behind you. Press the hand into the knee. Just like we did at the beginning, we're going to turn. Flex your left foot. Move your right shoulder away from your ear. Keep increasing the rotation from above the navel. Every time you inhale, grow a little bit taller, separating vertebra. And every exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Okay, look forward, extend that right leg forward, and let's change sides. So starting with the left foot, touching the right inner thigh. If your hamstrings are tight, bend this straight leg, just so that the pelvis can tilt forward. And then start to lengthen, trying to reach your heart to your toes. And of course, if you do have more flexibility, you can press the top of the hamstrings down. Don't let the heel lift, though. The heel should be on the floor, so you're not hyperextending the knee. And then there's a rotation towards the right. So the left side of the body moves down, the right side of the body lifts up, like you're trying to place your left ear onto that shin. Called Janashirshasana. Deep breaths. Okay, lift yourself up. Let's cross your left knee deeply over your right knee now. So the top of that left foot is on the floor. Then take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Press the hand into the knee and start to turn to the left. Flex your right foot, the foot that you're not looking at. So you keep energy in the quadricep. And turn to the left. Make sure both sides of the spine are nice and long. So you lift up and you turn and increase that rotation a little bit more. One more breath. And then look forward. Just checking the time. Okay, and we're all done for that class. So you can move your blanket out of the way. You're just going to rest here now on your back with the soles of the feet together and the blocks underneath the legs. And just draw the shoulder blades down your back, away from your ears. You're just going to rest here, just stretching through your inner legs there. If you don't have blocks, again, these can be cushions. You want to feel some stretch through the adductor muscles, through the inner legs. Take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. And then see if you can inhale for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1 through the nose. Hold the breath. And exhale for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. So that again, inhale for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhaling through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 3 more. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Okay, breathe normally. You're going to reach down and you're just going to draw your knees towards your belly. Just rock side to side in your lower back. And then roll onto your right side. And slowly push down to sit all the way up. Okay. Sit tall through the spine. You might need to sit up on a few cushions there. Just take a moment to notice how your body feels. Namaste. Thank you so much. Bye.